Hello and welcome to episode 54 of Pacific Horseplayers, right here on the HHH Racing Podcast. I'm your host, Noah Meagher. We've got Ryan, we've got Jackson, and we've got a pick six carryover at Del Mar. They're supposed to have it on Friday. Unfortunately, they will not be racing on Friday, but you can look at the glass half full and say that we get to talk about it for Saturday. So we'll be going through that sequence for you guys shortly. I already see some comments up in the chat, but before we get into those and the handicapping, you can listen to us on Apple Podcasts, Spotify, and Anchor. We've got our regular Power Picks tip sheet that you can subscribe to. I know we had a big score. I think that was about 2 weeks ago, but they also have some good stuff on there and good things rolling so far as we wrap up the 2025 year, as we've got Del Mar's closing up, but we've got stuff opening up, including Fairgrounds. Tampa Bay opened up earlier this week, so we got some good stuff going. And then you can find out more about us at our website, HHH Racing Podcast.com. And then I believe, Jackson, maybe you can correct me if I'm wrong, we've got another episode of Weekend Warriors. So a little more contest driven. We were talking about that on the show last time. I believe it's 4 to 6 p.m. Eastern. Once again, this contest isn't the NHC. It's for the Clark Betting Challenge. Talked about that on Wednesday, a couple races. We were looking at some stuff with Mike Saletta, his winning strategy. So I'm sure we'll do some similar stuff when next Wednesday rolls around. But if you guys are playing and are interested, of course, you can go check out that show. And I think that's everything that we need to talk about here. Like I said, we've got some people in the chat. Of course, Katie's here, ready for an early show. Yes, we are filming this a little bit early on Thursday evening, but appreciate you guys for joining us. Terry says, good evening, everyone. Gary Mathis 3459 is ready to go. And of course, the boss is here, ready for a big night of capping and talking horses. Can't wait. Rain, go away out west. Hopefully that rain can stay away. And, you know, they're got the card canceled on Friday. So got that. And then the turf races are non-existent on Saturday. And hopefully we see some good stuff Sunday. And then, of course, they've got their big turf festival that we'll be talking about next week. So looking forward to that, as always. And, boys, looking forward to talking about the sequence with you two guys. How we doing?
Yeah, it's a good sequence. You know, all dirt. Not often we get rain back-to-back weekends, if at all, down here. But, hey, got to do what you got to do. At least they went with the all-dirt card. That's a safer route to take so none of the fields get decimated.
Jackson,
yeah, we're ready now. Had all kinds of car trouble today, so that was a lot of fun to deal with. But, no, look, this pick six carryover is a good sequence, I think. And I don't think it's one that is going to take anything crazy to try to hit it. I don't feel like it's one where you need to spend hundreds of dollars to connect on this one. So I don't play pick sixes too often, but this feels like one I could get involved with for sure.
Yeah, and we've got a sequence for you guys, 3 tickets from each of us that we'll be talking about. I think we could probably fly through the races. I know we've got 6 of them, but hopefully we can get through them in about 40 to 45 minutes and then have some tickets ready for you. And Jackson, you got to get that car fixed so you can, get up there and check out that racing on Monday. Am I right?
Well, I'm taking it in Monday, so hopefully the train's running. The train's been having issues too. So, man, I might be walking to Del Mar on Monday. I might have to start walking Sunday, so we'll see.
You'll find a way to get there. I know that. Let's talk about the races that will be happening on Saturday. And the pick six starts with this race right here, which is race 4. 2:02 Pacific time, 5:02 Eastern time. It starts with a $20,000 maiden claiming event, and you see the runners on the screen now. We do have numbers and morning lines in the program, thank goodness. And the morning line favorite goes to the number 3 Eastwick for Edgar Payeras and Craig Delassie. She's at 3-1. Second choice is all the way to the outside with the Indiana bred Aloha Dreamin' for my boy Ayuso and Robert Hess Jr., who frankly can't seem to buy a race at this point right now at the end of 2025. Let's see who we're going with to kick things off with our pick six tickets. I'm going 1-2-8. Jackson's going 2-4-8, and Ryan's going 1-4-8. So we've got a mixture of 4 horses, some similar picks, a couple different top picks. I guess Jackson's the only one that's got a different top pick, and he's going with our boy Dougie Fresh and the number 2 Divine Wind. Fresu aboard 6-1 on the morning line. Jackson, what'd you like about this filly?
Yeah, I'm glad this is the first race of the sequence because there's a couple horses in here that I'm really curious about how the money they take in this spot. The 2 is one of them. The 8 is the other, who we'll talk about in a minute. But Divine Wind is a horse that ran okay up in Kentucky this summer. She wasn't great by any means, but I do think that most recent race came against a group that was probably better than what she's facing here. And she ran an okay third in there. She got a fast pace to chase and finished well to get up for third in that spot. But I do like the way she was working this summer at Del Mar. I was able to watch a couple words. And one of them specifically, she rode like an absolute shot, and she looked really good in the mornings. Now, obviously, something's been going on with her because she hasn't made the races until now. I do think she's found a field that isn't that tough necessarily. And if she's able to, put that effort from the morning and put it into racing in the afternoons on Saturday, I think she can be right there. She'll be a price. She's another one that I do want to see how much money she's taking in this spot.
Yeah, and I feel like sometimes it's case by case where typically I would see a horse being at a certain location for quite a while would be a positive. I'm not exactly sure if that's a positive in this scenario because it feels like, he got this horse from Rusty Arnold at the end of July. Could have thrown her in plenty of races at Del Mar, but obviously, she had some trouble. But then again, you look at the flip side, she's been working well. You see some bullets, 46-2 out of the gate, 3 works back at the beginning of October. So obviously there's some talent there. Just seems like they've had a little bit of trouble getting her on the track and getting things going for Dougie's pretty hot barn as of now. He's got 5 wins out of 25 starters and a couple runners to add to that in the money. So I think that's a pretty good signal and where you look at the market and see if she's taking some money and if pools are indicating that she's going to be live in the spot. So I've got her in second. Obviously, you've got her on top. The one that I've got on top and the one that Ryan also has on top is number 1 Tupelo, runner-up last time to Tiger Fire, who was a horse that was dropping in from, I can't remember if it was higher maiden claiming or maiden special weight, but first time on the dirt, Ryan, I feel like she's got every right to improve second time on the main track.
Yeah, second time main track, second time sprinting, definitely an angle that I think she could improve upon. Last time I dropped out a state-bred maiden 50 going on dirt, and Tiger Fire was pretty well met in that race, the maiden 20 that she's coming out of. She won that race nicely up on the front end, and then top Tupelo kind of just ran in place behind her, ran her race. It just wasn't good enough that day, but I don't think this field has any of those type of big droppers coming in here that have that early speed. So I think Ricky Gonzalez is just going to force from the rail, get to the front, and I think that's going to be probably enough to win this thing. I don't think the 4 who I picked in second, I like her. I just don't think she would also have to take another step up to beat this group, or to beat the 1, sorry.
Yeah, at least to me, it kind of seems like if the 4 couldn't beat her last time, when is she going to? Now, maybe I could be wrong about that, and obviously she's had limited experience on the dirt as well, but I think you're spot on. I think if Ricky Sense from the rail is able to get the lead, there's really not any real speed balls in here, which I take the rail as a bit of a negative. But in a scenario like this, if you've got the fastest horse in the race and you're able to get out on the front, it could kind of turn that negative into a positive, which I think he might be able to do on Saturday. You talked a little bit about the 4, who was just kind of third best in that race, only a length and a half behind Moonlit Courage, who obviously could turn the tables. You've got her in second, Jackson. I don't think we really need to talk about her. I think the one we want to mention is this horse right here. If you think the 2's been off for a while, the 8's definitely been off for a long time. Haven't seen her since May 1st of 2024, Jackson. Just another one where she's got some big question marks, but who do you need to really be scared of in this race?
Yeah, agreed. And if she runs back to that race from last May of 24, she's going to be very tough in here. That was a good field she ran against. She drew the rail that day. Not the easiest place to win from at Horseshoe Indy. And Lil Jen in Class is actually a pretty good horse for a state bred up there. She's won like $300,000. I mean, she's a stakes competitor. So it's not like she lost to a bad horse that day. Obviously, where has she been since then is the major question mark. The barn's a little chilly. Definitely look at the workout report on this horse because there's nothing available as of right now. So we'll see what happens with her. And look, she's got things going for her for sure, especially with the outside post.
Yeah, I think so too. We'll move on to the next race as I get that up on the screen here real quick. Race 5 is up on the screen now. Another maiden claiming event. This time it's for state bred 12-5, which obviously is a race that we all love. 5.5 furlongs, of course, on the main track because all of these races are going to be run on the dirt, as we indicated earlier in the show. Pretty heavy favorite here in the number 6, Amelia's Echo for Antonio Fresu and Phil D'Amato. Second choice goes to the outside in the number 9, Dixie's Delight for Juan Hernandez and Blaine Wright. And then the third choice is the number 7, K Bella Luna for Orantes and Ron Ellis. Picks are up on the screen now. I'm going 6-9-7. Jackson's going 2-1-6, and Ryan's going 7-1-9. I guess I should have left this for Jackson because he's got a 20-1 shot on top, if I've got that correctly, which I was kind of scrambling to get these picks in on the last minute. But I'll go to Ryan. He's going with the 7, who is the lone 4-year-old filly in the race. Obviously, experience could matter in some of these, Ryan. Maybe that's what your thinking is, but try and convince us about why the number 7 is going to get it done in the second leg of the pick 6 on Saturday.
Yeah, look, this filly's coming off of a pretty substantial layoff. It's been about 9 months since she was last running, and she showed some early speed at that maiden 20 level and then is off for, almost a year here. But this is something that Ron Ellis doesn't do it often, but he's had some success, 29% over the past year, but 1271 ROI. Look, I wanted to kind of take a shot against the number 6. This is the kind of horse I'd never want to bet, a horse that leaves herself with a lot to do turning for home and is just kind of dropping down the maiden ranks. So I'm trying to get creative and beat her. And I think, again, choosing a horse that should be a little bit more forward early, certainly than the favorite, and maybe than a few other of these as well. Welfin Orantes has been riding really well, so hopefully he can be aggressive out of there. And maybe she's taken a step up in that year she's had to develop.
Yeah, I like it, and I almost actually threw her in second, so I could do one of these. But I would add 6, 7, 9, which unfortunately I couldn't get myself to end up doing that. But we don't have to talk about her any longer. We want to hear the convincing about this horse for Sally Rivera and Giovanni Franco, and this is a 20-1 shot, Jackson, that you've got on top, and the floor is yours. So what would you like about this one?
Yeah, look, I think we'd all probably agree if Amelia's Echo runs back to those races 2 and 3 back, she's going to win this race. The problem is the most recent race was really bad, and she didn't do any kind of running in that spot. Now she's taking another drop in class, so I would be trying to beat her in this spot at a short price. I think Circle of Fire ran not great, but I would say just as well as the 9 horse who's coming out of the same race and was 7-2 in there. This filly had significantly more trouble in that spot. I think they only finished about a length or 2 apart, and the 9 was a horse that was right behind a pace that it was just a merry-go-round race, and the 9 hit a brick wall. So if the 9's going to be 7-2 in here, and you're going to give me the 2 who had some trouble, finished right behind her, and the 2 has all the upside. She's slightly raced. Now she goes to gets an upgrade with the jockey, has a bullet work since then. I think if the 2 can break cleanly in here, I think she can take a step forward. And in a race where nothing inspires me, I have no problem taking a big shot on a 20-1 shot. I
like it. And I mean, you're seriously going to knock out some people. And I think, especially when you get some of these races that, you have a lot of question marks, and you get horses that have been short prices and had plenty of chances before, like the 6 and the 9. Maybe you can make a case for that being somewhat the 7. I like it. I think it's a good shot. And like I said, you're going to definitely knock out a majority of tickets. And you've got the 1 in second, eldest 8-1 shot. You've got that one in second. Like I said, you've got the 6 and third. And then Ryan, you've actually got this one in the mix too. So I guess I'll throw it back to you, Ryan, to talk about this filly by He Be Fire and Ice, which is a sire you don't see very often.
Yeah, you don't see very often, but I think he just had a winner, maybe 2 so far at this Del Mar meet. But one where the dam side only progeny to run so far was a winner. That's Chasen Ryan, won on debut. He just won at Del Mar a couple weeks ago, or last week rather. But the dam also was second on debut, so maybe a little bit of precocity. Leonard Powell typically likes to race them into shape, but I do like that this one had a great workout 2 back. So I don't know, but DeMuro's been hot. I wanted to just kind of get a little creative again. I'm completely against the 6, tossing that horse out of the pick 6 ticket. So I wanted to just get creative with a price. It's hard to win from the rail, but I wanted to give her a shot.
And this is like a survive and advance race for me. Just based off of the numbers, the 6 is clearly the horse to beat. I'm with Jackson. I have no idea what happened last time. She climbed, but she also climbed like she had run maybe once or twice before that, not 8 times. So obviously, she's gotten the antics out of the way, and there really isn't much of a reason to to give her an excuse as to why she ran so poorly last time. I will say it was against better, and she did maybe finish with a little bit of interest, and she's going to need a little bit of pace in front of her. But if they were to run this race several times, I think this is the one that wins the majority of the times, which is obviously why she's 8-5. So nothing creative there, and then nothing creative on my end with the 9. I just thought it was one of those races where if you get the lead, you can just kind of take them the whole way. I don't think there's going to be a ton of passing in this race. Last time was another one where she didn't really have much of an excuse and hit a bit of a wall, but it just seems like Juan Hernandez isn't going to hop on a filly that doesn't want to run anymore. So I've got her in the mix, and then I've got Ryan 7. Ryan, you've got the 9 as well, and then Jackson the 6. So I think we can go ahead and move on from this race. And the next race is the third leg of the Pick 6 on Saturday, and it's race 6. Race 6 is a $25,000 claimer. 7 furlongs, of course, on the main track, and we've got a field of 7. Morning line favorite goes to the number 4, Freya, for Ricky Gonzalez and Blaine Wright. Second choice is the number 2, Headstrong Ways, Tiago Pereira and Richard Baldus at 3-1. There are picks up on the screen. I'm going 5-7-4, and I'm actually not sure if that's right. Jackson's going 2-5-3, and Ryan's going 2-4-5. So obviously you guys like the 2, so I'll let you talk about that while I fix my picks. I'm not actually sure how the 7 got in there, but knowing my luck, the 7 will probably win this race after the fact. But back to you, Jackson, talking about the 2 Headstrong Ways, who I think there's a good chance that she could go favorite in here, honestly.
Yeah, it wouldn't surprise me. This does feel like a race where the betting is going to be pretty wide open. It just feels like the speed play. I mean, this race, there's only 7 horses, and not many of them have speed. The ones that do have speed are being running in longer races, 2 around 2 turns. So she's the horse that is stretching out from sprints. And if she runs either of those last 2 races on the dirt, she's going to be very tough in here. That most recent race at Santa Anita was pretty good. That was a race where she was dueling 3 wide, got the best of the other speeds, and got run down late by Maximum Gold, who got a perfect trip, was the big favorite in there. I thought she ran well in that spot, and that race has come back to be really live. You can look at the running backs, and there are several horses have come back to win. I believe 3 horses have already come back to win. Another finished second, and those are just the horses that are on the dirt. So very live race. I think this is an easier spot. There just doesn't seem like there's a whole lot in this race. So if she's able to, dictate the pace to the rest of these horses, get an easy lead, I think she's going to be very difficult to pass.
The only thing I really have to add is I'm not sure I love the ride from Pena last time. She beat the field out of the gate, and then Pena just took her back like we saw from Mario on the Lynch horse today. But anyways, that's really all I have to add. Ryan, you got anything different?
No, Jackson hit all the points there. Yeah, pretty live race this one's coming out of. Should be forward. I like the jockey upgrade. Pereira's a little more aggressive than Pena is. So, you guys hit all the points. I got nothing.
Next horse we'll talk about is actually the horse that I've got on top. Exington was once in the Doug O'Neill barn, got claimed, ended up with Miotti for a little while, and now switched over to Jamie Thomas. I don't know. This is just the pace scenario in this race. I really have no idea. I think the addition of the Candyman, who's obviously firing on all cylinders right now, is a little different than what we saw from him over the summer here at Del Mar. But I think he's got every chance to get the lead with this filly. And obviously she's got that stamina. If she's anywhere close to the lead, some of these horses that maybe struggle to kind of get that extra half furlong or furlong, I think she's just going to kind of get started. She's obviously been in some better races. Granted, they were maybe on a different surface, but she ran just fine when she got claimed away from Doug O'Neill back in August. She was bet down in that 16 claimer at Del Mar after that a week later. I thought the race last time was just okay. It was a mile on the turf, but cutting back in distance and getting back onto the main track, where she's had a little success, I think. I thought she was worth a shot in a race where, frankly, I thought you could throw a pretty good blanket over these, where if it kind of wasn't the 2 or the 4, you can make a case for a lot of them. But it seems like we seem pretty similar. The other one I think we want to talk about, obviously, is the 4. I honestly could see her going favorite now that I think about it. I guess the question for her, Ryan, would be whether she can kind of translate that form over to the main track.
Yeah, that's question 1. And question 2 is she's going to need the pace in front of her. The only race where she broke her maiden, she walked on the lead that day at November. And 47 to the half, going 5 furlongs on a Del Mar turf course that didn't see rain last fall. That's The three of us could probably run faster than that over that turf course. So they were crawling that day. This one doesn't have a whole lot of early speed, so is going to need to either show a new dimension, switching over to the dirt. Will be the favorite, and I think deservedly so. Definitely the most consistent on the numbers, but one that I think is beatable if you have an opinion against her.
Jackson, finish us off with the 3. You've got her in third. Just kind of seems like she's been facing better as well, but another one where she's going to need things to set up in front of her.
Yeah, I don't think this is impossible for this filly if this pace really heats up. I do expect Camara on number 6 to be very aggressive. I don't know if that horse is quick enough to make the front, but I expect her to be close. I don't think Maldonado will be that far away on the 5 either. So if those 3 hook up, this thing falls apart for a horse like the 3. I'm not going to be completely shocked, but she does seem more like a horse that's probably best suited for underneath.
Yeah, I think so too. We'll move on to race 7. Let me get that up on the screen here. And there it is right there, race 7. Allowance option claiming 20,000. Morning line favorite is number 7, Crystal Clean for Barrios and Sadler at 2-1. Second choice, just to her inside in the 6, Maldonado. The only one in for the tag, Maldonado and Georgie P at 5-2. And then the third choice, Timekeeper's Charm, the 3 for Pereira and Knapp. Picks are up on the screen. Now I'm going 4-7-3. Jackson's going 7-4-6, and Ryan's going 3-7-4. So another race where we've got different combos of 4 different horses in a race. We will go back to you, Ryan, to talk about the recent picture taker in the number 3, Timekeeper's Charm, who seemed like it took her a while to get her picture taken. But you know what they say about that lipo bangle?
Yeah, I think there is a chance that maybe that's what happened last time out. Maybe she just met her friends. Either way, it was a really nice win. She drew off really professionally, so maybe she did put everything together, and that's certainly what I'm going to bank on again in this spot. Obviously, the first thing that at least pops out to me for this horse was the fact that she's very well bred for a Calbred. She's by not this time out of a street sense mare. I mean, you look through the rest of this breeding and it's definitely not that strong. So maybe that played a little bit of an influence, but also again, off that win last time out, she finally looked comfortable and within herself. Fresu had her in a really good spot that day. Obviously he's not aboard today as Pereira gets back aboard now that he's healthy. So we'll see how that turns out, but this is one that I think could be forward. And I'm a little bit against the 7, Crystal Clean. I just feel like she should have won last time out. So I didn't want to put her on top again.
Well, it seems like Mr. Anti-Favorite is he's swinging from the other side of the plate and going with the favorite, which often he doesn't necessarily do, but definitely respected. She's got numbers on the page that completely fit. I thought her race 2 back when she lost to Don't You Forget was pretty good. I thought she did kind of the dirty work in there, and then really nothing wrong to say about her effort last time. And obviously it seems like this could be a race, in my opinion, where you get people that are playing the pick 6 that go a little deeper, and maybe this is one you could kind of lean on and maybe separate yourself from others.
Potentially. I don't disagree with that. I do think the horse you're going to talk about is interesting as well, Noah. But I do view Crystal Clean as the most likely winner. I don't think she had crazy excuses for the last 2 races. Last time she did have to steady in the backstretch. She stayed again in the turn. I'm not sure she was going to get to the winner either way. I do think she would have been closer, but I don't think the inside post helped her in that spot. Today, she's drawn outside of all the other speed. The 3 and the 4 are both quick. They're going to go. She'll just stalk on the outside like she did for the debut victory. And I just envision her getting a really good trip for really hot connections. And I think she's the fastest horse in the race. So I had a tough time picking against her.
Seems like she's going to be pretty close to a pace that doesn't seem like it's going to be all that hot. I'm really hoping that they actually finally send with the 4, which they haven't done in the last 2 races. Fresu was kind of in a bit of a tight spot, 2 back off the layoff. And then last time they just let Lady Gregory go, who's not even a speed horse to begin with. And once she got the lead, the race was pretty much over because, I mean, she was even money in that race. Nobody was going to outkick her late. But I thought, considering the tactics, I thought she ran fine in both races. JJ hops on, which obviously she might take a little bit of money because of that, but definitely an upgrade in terms of, no disrespect to Fresu and Ricky Gonzalez, but he's obviously the best guy out there, and Urton's obviously been firing all year. So I hope that they finally take the lead with this filly. She had some success earlier on in her career when she had done that. And her number on the turf last time doesn't really, I mean, it doesn't seem like it doesn't fit compared to some of these other races. Maybe the 7 is a little more professional than her, but I mean, I think she's got as big a shot as others, especially since there's not a ton of speed in this race to begin with. So got her in the mix. Obviously, all three of us have her in the mix. I think the only one that we need to talk about, we talked about the 3, talked about the 4. I think Jackson's going to finish us off again with the 6, who I guess is a bit of the seasoned vet in this race. She's 6 years old at this point already, and Georgie P got her 2 races back. I guess the biggest question, like maybe there's 2 of them. 1, is she as good as she used to be? And 2, is she going to get enough pace to run into?
I mean, I don't think she's probably as good as she used to be, but I don't think it's impossible that she gets the same trip she got in that September 7th race here, wherein the speed just came back to her. The 3 horses we all have on top are the 3, 4, and 7. Kind of expect them all to be 4th place. So if they kind of just go crazy on the front end, this is the filly that's going to be picking up the pieces late. She loves this racetrack. She's proven over it. If they go bonkers on the front end, she does have the best kick. I don't love her in this spot, but I do respect her.
Yeah, I think so too. We will move on to the feature on the card, and the feature on the card is race 8. Race 8 is the Native Diver. It's a grade 3. It's up on the screen now. It's a bit of a smaller field this year, but a couple big names, at least one big name coming out of the Breeders' Cup Classic, and that's your 3-5 morning line favorite, Nevada Beach. Juan Hernandez pilots for Bob Baffert. Second choice is to the inside with the number 1 Indispensable for Hector Berrios and John Sadler at 3-1 on the line. Are we chalking out, or are we trying to get cute? And we are not. I'm going 3-1-2. Jackson's going 3-1-5, and Ryan is going 3-1-2 as well. I'm a little bit lost. Whose turn is it?
I don't know.
You go. You can have
you
everything.
know.
You want me to go? You want me to talk about chalk? I know you guys want me to talk about chalk.
Yeah, that's what you do. Go.
Nevada Beach. I don't know how you guys feel. I would be a little more inclined to pick the 1 in this race if the Classic had taken a little bit more out of Nevada Beach. If I were to ask you the question of who was most affected by the rabbit in the Breeders' Cup Classic, who do you think the answer would be?
Definitely not him.
Yeah, not him.
Really? Well, it's not Fierceness.
I don't understand the people that thought this horse was going to be on the lead in the Classic. He's not a speed horse. So he's just
No,
not.
I didn't mean that. I meant he completely backed up into him.
Okay,
Oh.
fair. I thought you meant from the pace perspective. Okay.
Me too. Me too.
No, but I mean, Mike tried to stay inside, and maybe that was the key to running a little bit better on that day. But after that, he got a little bit shuffled back, and then it just seemed like Mikey didn't really ask much from him that day. It just seems like he's supposed to win this race. Obviously, if you throw that last race out, he's on an upward progression. And like I said, if it was more of a taxing race where it'd taken a little bit more out of him, I'd be more inclined to go with a horse that's a little bit fresh. But I don't really have much selling to do other than that. So I'll leave it to you guys.
He's supposed to win.
Yep.
That's
And
all I have to
Baffert
say.
didn't enter anybody else in here either. It's just him. That's typically
he's the best horse in the race. It's not particularly close. He's supposed to get a good pace scenario. I mean, he's supposed to win.
he's going to be 1-20.
Yeah, he's not going to be 3-5.
No,
he's 3-5. There's something going on. That's dead on the board.
Yeah.
For this horse.
Yeah.
But should he really be 1-20? I mean, this horse right here is pretty good. Isn't this horse going to be in front of him too?
Maybe. I mean,
Yeah.
what race on the page this year makes you think that he can beat him?
I don't know.
You don't have an answer.
He's
Probably not. I mean, but he's
This is
also
a one horse-
he's been facing a lot better.
I'm not saying you should bet the 3 at 1-5 because that's just a dumb bet. But if you're playing the pick 6, are you going to try to double up with him?
No,
Probably
I think you have to make a decision.
Right.
for just for clarity's sake, I just sent Noah the 3 for this race. I think he threw in the 1-2, so I had a 3, but I just sent the 3. This looks like it's just a complete layover. And
We've done 54 shows, and this guy doesn't send me top 3. It's unbelievable.
It just feels like he got 4th in the Pacific Classic by default. Like they were on the line. He was the one that was towards the back and just passed the horses that hit a brick wall, and he got 4th. Nice.
Mm.
And then the Yak was just that was not a good field, and he just ran okay in there. I mean,
Yeah,
it was not a good effort.
I hear you. But he beat Lyle Song, who's a complete monster. No,
Not according to my betting. No, not all the losing tickets I had with Lyle Song on top. So
except when he idles and Privman gets past, and then passes him again on the inside. Anyway,
he's done that twice now.
Yeah, I think we can go ahead and move on to the next race. The next race is the finale. It's the last finale. Yeah. It's the last race on the card, race 9, and it is up on the screen right now. I thought this was a very good race to end the day. It's maiden special weight. I think you got some serious 2-year-olds on the West Coast, some debuting. Some have already run. And the number 3 is your morning line favorite, Blacksmith, for Juan Hernandez and Bob Baffert. Second choice is the number 9, Secured Freedom, the Virginia bred for Kimura and Yakteen. And then you've got a couple horses at 6-1, including the 4, Authentic Patriot, and the 7, Cactus Charlie. Let's see who we're going with to close things out. I'm going 10-3-1. Jackson's going 10-3-9, and Ryan's going 7-9-1. I keep forgetting the order, but Ryan's the only one that doesn't have the 10 on top. So we're going to stick it with him. Cactus Charlie. Safe to say he's definitely the most experienced of the group. And I guess the question is, will that pay off in the finale on Saturday?
Yeah, look, Baffert has 3 entries in here, so obviously the race kind of goes through him. But I don't know. I this is probably a dumb belief, but I don't like when Baffert has more than 2. When he has 2 entries, it's like he either could win. When he has 3, it makes me think that he's maybe not as confident in any of the runners. So I try and beat him in those spots, and this is going to be one of those times. Cactus Charlie over the summer ran here at Del Mar, finished second behind Boyd. Boyd was trying to run in the Bob Hope that never ended up going. Had 2 runs on turf that were okay, but they were, significantly slower. Now switches back onto the dirt. Has 4 races under his belt, so I like the experience angle. Ricky should get this one forward, and we'll see. I mean, if Blacksmith runs back to that debut effort, I think everybody's running for a very clear second. But we've seen horses that pop on debut and then, maybe bounce a little bit that second time out before. So going to try and beat the heavy favorite in the 3 here.
I like the idea to try to beat the 3. The one that we're trying to beat him with, Jackson, is the 10. I already know you're going to say, you copy my picks. But I'm going to let you talk about him, and then you're just going to say everything that I was going to say. So go ahead.
I was going to say that. You know me so well. I like what I've seen from this horse in the mornings. He has outworked everything they've thrown at him. He outworked your morning line favorite in this spot, Blacksmith, very easily. He outworked Plutarch, who's a nice graded stakes horse for Baffert. He outworked the other Baffert in this race, the 4, Authentic Gallop. He looks pretty good. And I think he got the best of the post. It seems like he's going to be the best price in this race. And look, Spendthrift Farm is throwing nothing but runners right now. So that's a sign of confidence as well. He's a horse I like quite a bit in here. If he runs like he's been working, he's going to be very difficult to beat. And, as far as the 3 goes, I guess we can just move on to 3. That was a race. I know it came back really, really fast, but it was a small field. He didn't have a straw in his path. I mean, he ran okay in there. In this spot, it's a much bigger field. Now he's drawn inside. There is speeds around him, especially the 4, Authentic Patriot, who I think is probably the 3rd best of the Bafferts, but he is pretty quick out of the gate. Might cause him some problems too. So the 3 can win. I'm not going to be surprised if he does, but I would be trying to beat the 3 a little bit in this spot.
I have a question real quick.
Yeah. Go ahead.
For the 10, it's Spendthrift and it's Baffert, and we've seen Kazushi Kimura take some mounts for Spendthrift, notably probably the most Copian, and he's ridden for Baffert a decent amount. Did you guys look into that maybe he chose to ride the 9 for some lower level connections over the 10?
He might have gotten kicked off because he didn't ride Copian in the Breeders' Cup.
Well, right. He didn't. So maybe he did. Okay. Fair enough. I was just curious.
Yeah.
Yeah. I don't know. I don't know either.
I wanted to know what you thought, Jackson, because I didn't really know what to make of the Rispoli booking, because I know Hector's kind of ridden some of Baffert's horses before, and he's on the 4. Honestly, I don't think the 4 can run at all, but I don't know. I didn't know what to make of it, but I also didn't want that to talk me off, because I think people will just see that, the 3 popped a huge number, blah, 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 right. Just single him on all your tickets, pick 6, late pick 3, $5 late double, all that stuff. But I think 8-1's a very fair price on the 10. So that's the direction that I headed for those reasons. Obviously, the 3 can win. Like you said, number came back fast. That's Dougie's horse that beat him. Acknowledge Me, Please. So I think a pretty good 2-year-old too. But like you said, small field, just kind of ran around the track. He was getting to him late, but maybe the bigger field causes some issues and he gets beat on Saturday. So we've got the 3, 10, and 7 covered. I'll let you talk about the 9, Ryan. I don't know if you've seen some stuff in the mornings. I've seen a couple things. I think he's definitely got some talent, and they better not stretch him out, right? Because he is a son of Practical Joke.
Hey, listen, you can laugh all you want, but that rings true all the time. So, no, I like practical joke breeding, certainly for the first time out, certainly for the 2-year-olds. That's one of his strongest angles. A solid work last time out for Secured Freedom. Kazushi Kimura is a board who rides firsters very well. He's always aggressive with them and gets them into a good spot early. And then, there's that old saying of if you want to try and beat Baffert, go with Tim Yakteen because he seems to have his number more often than not. Yeah. So I do think that this colt has some talent in the mornings and could showcase that in the afternoon. I just hope Kazushi gets this one in a decent position.
Is that really an old saying, or is that like more recent? It sounds more recent.
Okay. More recent. Old for me was like 4 months ago.
Yeah, 4 months ago. Okay.
Yeah. We moved quick out.
So like old as in this year old. Not like
no, like a couple years.
Yeah, like last year.
A couple years. Okay. It was like it was a couple.
Just wondering. Cool.
Yeah.
Ryan, we're gonna give you a chance to finish this off with the number 1 SOs, who I think is a little interesting. Obviously, the rail doesn't do him a ton of favors, but just kind of what I've seen in the mornings and the purchase price, I think he's got some ability to maybe pop first time out.
Yeah, I mean he's a half to multiple winners. On the dirt, and this one cost a pretty penny at almost $500,000. So, again, if I'm trying to beat the heavy favorite in the number 3 Blacksmith, and I like the point both of you guys made on Western Ave, so maybe I throw that one in as well. But I thought this first-time starter, I know has to overcome the rail, and I know it's it's not the rail going 6 furlongs, it's the rail going 6.5. So, Frace is aboard. Mark Glatt can certainly pop with these first-time starters. So if he can get him into a good position early and into a good rhythm, who knows what this one could be. So
I'll just add that this horse can definitely run. He's just been a little slow out of the gate in both the workouts I saw. So the rail draw for me was kind of off-putting. But he's one I would definitely get next time, I think.
And I think we might see either A, turf, or B, long in his future, which I think both of those can maybe suit him. And the rail, obviously, like I said, doesn't do him a ton of favors, but clearly we all think that he's got a little bit of ability. So we'll move on to our pick 6 tickets. Who wants to go first?
You.
Me? You want me to go first?
I do.
I'll go first.
Boss man.
There's my pick 6 ticket.
My total too.
Wow.
That's my ticket. That's the wrong. Wait, no, that's your ticket.
Yeah, that's my ticket.
Okay.
So one was 679 with 245 with 47 with 3 with 1310. That is $108 total. The one doesn't win the first leg. I'll probably just play the pick 5 or wait to the late pick 3 because I think there's probably a free square in there with Nevada Beach, but 3 deep in the second and third legs. I think that Roseberry Rose horse in the 4th, along with Crystal Clean, you could probably get away with those 2. Obviously, talk about the free square, and then the last race, maybe get some value with the 1 and the 10 in there. So $108 ticket for me is we're doing something a little bit unordinary. As I went first, and who wants to go second?
Ryan? Sure, I'll go.
All right, Ryan. Very similar ticket, at least at the very beginning. 1 with 179 with 245 with 37 with 3 with 179. Now that I think about it, all these tickets look pretty similar in format.
Yeah, you can see how I thought that the first ticket up there was mine on first glance. But anyway, I'm gonna roll with you. I'm singling Tupelo. I like that race that one comes out of. We'll start it off, and if I miss, then we'll go to the pick 5. But that second race going 179, wanted to throw in that firster for Leonard Powell. Feels like race 6, you can kind of move things along with the 2, 4, and 5. Those are kind of the 3 main contenders, and it should be one of those 3. Race 7. Obviously, got to use Crystal Clean. Going to use Timekeeper's Charm. Feels like I can get through. Then to the free square, and then I'm beating Baffert. I'm going to go with 3 prices, 5 to 1, 6 to 1, and the rail I believe is 12 to 1. So we'll see if we can, cap things off with a nice win.
I like it. Good luck to you. Jackson might be the only one alive from these 3 after the first race. He's going 2-4-8 with 1-2-6 with 2-5 back-to-back singles in the 3 and the 7. And then finishing it off with the 3, 9, and 10. Jackson, my question to you is, are you going to play that 3-7 double?
Probably. And I swear we did not plan to all have $108 tickets. That's total coincidence.
No, also, it's the 7-3 for the singles.
Oh, you're right.
I flipped it.
Schmuck put his
someone messed up. Noah gave me bad information, so blame.
No, that's you, bro.
Yeah. No, look, at the first couple legs, those are kind of my spready legs. I'm just trying to get by those 2. We are trying to beat the favorite in the first leg, Eastwick, who we didn't even talk about. Was trying to beat him. Second race, trying to survive in advance. Hopefully we get that 20 to 1 shot home because that could really spice things up. The sixth race, I feel like I can get by with just 2. I think Headstrong Ways is the most likely winner, but I do need Exington. I think Noah made a decent case for that one from just off the pace. So I do want to use her as well because I think the cutback will do that horse a lot of good. Crystal Clean in the 7th just seems like the most likely winner. Best post, fastest horse in the race, single her. Nevada Beach, Ryan keeps saying free square. He's making me a little nervous, but I do think she's that horse you have to single. And then the last race, a little spready, going to go 3, 9, 10. I don't know if I'm going to play the double, but I'm definitely going to play the late pick 3, 7, 3, 10, ice cold a few times.
I like it ice cold. And there's a comment in the chat. I think it's a good one to bring up. Ticket structures are solid. I think we could just, finish reading the comment at that. I'm just kidding. $100 range, probably about the minimum you can spend on a $1
pick six.
But it is $2. So yeah, we've got the math ended up to 54. It's $2 ticket. So obviously 54 times 2. I am able to do that in my head, and that is $108. But yeah, it's pretty crazy that A, I got that right, and B, they were all $108. So I think that he fixed it. I think that's everything that we've got to cover. Any really administrative stuff? I know obviously we've got our show Saturday. Maybe things at Del Mar, and you can update us on the weather because obviously they've canceled Friday, but we've got racing on Monday, which I'm looking forward to.
Yeah, tomorrow rain and no racing, so that's sad. But the weekend continues because Monday we're going to have racing. They're going to move that card from Friday to Monday. So not really a bonus day, but a nice way to kick off your week with some Monday racing from Del Mar. So I'm looking forward to that. I'm hoping that we're back on the turf for Sunday. I haven't seen if they carded turf races or not, although I would totally understand if they opted to just do dirt only. And then next weekend, go crazy with it. The turf is not seeing a lot of action. It's seen a lot of rain. Maybe we get something fun.
You think we do an all-turf card? I would love that.
If Monmouth at the Meadowlands can do it, why can't Del Mar?
They're not running on it against Raymond.
They're never going to do it. Del Mar. I would love that.
And all these turf horses have had 2 weeks off now where, they were targeting so they'd fill. I don't know. That'd be fun.
Jackson, got any parting thoughts?
No, just check out the show on Saturday, the leaderboard show. I'm going to be on it. I don't know if you're going to be on, Noah. You're flying, right?
Yeah,
you're flying. Got my seat today, so excited for that. Going to be participating again. Hopefully it goes better than it did last week because that was rough. So we'll see.
Yeah, hopefully you see Jackson's leaderboard up at the top, and I unfortunately will not be able to beat him on Saturday because I will not be playing. I will be traveling. But even then, go check his stuff out and the show that we're doing on Saturday, which is Weekend Warriors. But this has been episode 54 Pacific Horse Players covering the Del Mar Saturday Pick 6 carryover for Ryan Jackson. This has been Noah, PHP. Out.
Yeah, I feel like the greatest. There is no